I have been an international traveler since I was 2 years old, and an awful lot has changed since then. Now, because the airlines are constantly changing their rules and regulations, I find that I'm constantly tweaking how and what I pack in my bag. And one of the items that was a big game changer for me was my backpack. No, not this backpack, this backpack. And in this video, I'm going to be going over the 6 reasons why you need to have a day pack in your bag. So stay tuned. Reason number 1 is comfort. Now, back in the day, I used to only take a string bag along with me, either one that looked like this or one that looked like this. And I'm sure you've seen these bags around too. Now, I used this for a very long time, but after a while, I thought there was a better way to do this because I would stick in there my bottle, a camera, and a jacket, and the bag would become so heavy that those strings would cut into my shoulders. So this was in the days before YouTube, and we used to have to rely on fellow travelers for advice. And a fellow traveler told me, ditch the string bag and get a day backpack. Now, I had never heard of a day backpack, and so I had nothing to go on. So this is the very first day pack that I bought for myself. And as you can see, it's pretty simplistic. It is just one really big, massive opening and a place for the water bottle, but still the straps were a little bit wider and it was a little more comfortable to wear. Reason number 2 is versatility during your daily activities. Now for us, this happened rather organically. Now I used to always carry around a little shopping bag like this that folded up nice and small. And I would throw this into the day pack and throw my groceries in here that I would pick up that I would use either in my hotel room or if I was staying in an Airbnb or some such place. And it did okay for me. But here's the thing. I found myself throwing the groceries more and more into the day pack and not using that little shopping bag at all. If it got dirty from whatever I was buying in the grocery store, it was easy to clean because it's usually made out of nylon or some such material. And I found myself just not using that grocery bag anymore. So the day pack is the bag that I use daily, even for my errands. So now let me tell you how I got to reasons 3 through 6. It's a little bit of a story, and it all happened last winter. You see, my husband and I were taking a trip from London to Portugal, and we were staying in 2 cities in Portugal. We were staying in Lisbon and Porto. Now, reason number 3 is that you can use the day pack as an extra bag. Let me tell you why. Now, this has to do with my, oh my God, I bought too much stuff on my vacation bag. And you can see here 3 of them that I've had over the years, and they served me well. But on this trip, I happened to have forgotten that bag. And we did some serious shopping at the Christmas markets in both Lisbon and Porto. And suddenly I realized I didn't have a place to pack all this stuff that I bought into. So trying to think out of the box, I realized I could stuff all those goodies into the day pack, and the day pack actually saved the day. So now I no longer take an, oh my God, I bought too much stuff on my vacation bag, which is now one less bag I have to take along with me. It was also on this trip to Portugal that we began to chat up a couple in a restaurant that we were eating at about the Douro Valley. Now, for those of you who don't know Portugal, the Douro Valley is about a 2.5-hour drive from Porto. And they said, you have to go there. Not only is it tremendously beautiful, there's all these great vineyards where they make port wine, and you'll just have the time of your life. So my husband and I, who are never adverse to trying a side excursion, and I highly recommend it to anybody who has never tried it, decided to take a trip to the Douro Valley, even though our hotel in Porto was already paid for. But we didn't really feel like dragging along all our luggage with us. So this leads me to reason number 4. You can use the day pack for short trips. I decided to try to use our day packs as our only bags to take with us to the Douro Valley. Now, my husband at first was highly skeptical, but as you can see here, I could get 3 days worth of clothing into those day packs, no problem at all. And so that's exactly what we did. We used them for a side excursion, a 3-day trip. And this got me thinking, if I could do this for a 3-day trip, you can use the day backpack for a 5 to 7-day trip, even on a discount airline or a very restrictive airline. So I did a test to see if you could get 5 to 7 days worth of clothing into one of those day packs and use it as your only bag. And guess what? You can. And as you can see here, I can put everything that I need for a 5 to 7 day trip into those day packs. I mean, look at all the stuff I'm packing into this day pack, and I'll still make compliance for even a European budget airline. I think that this is amazing. Now, this is also very convenient because not only do you save on the economy ticket on these budget airlines, but also what you find a lot on these budget airlines is that there is no jetway and that you have to climb a lot of stairs to get into the plane. And if you're doing this with a carry-on and a personal item, that can weigh a lot. So these day packs are not only good for day-to-day use, but you can actually pack them out and use them for even the most restrictive of European and Asian airlines. Or if you're just trying to beat the extra fees for a checked bag, you can do that with one of these day packs. And I think that this is totally liberating. Now, this leads me to reason number 5. When I packed out this day pack, I was curious about something. And just look at how much stuff I'm getting into this day pack, and I tested it out in both my luggage and my husband's luggage. And guess what? With all that stuff in there, it makes it into luggage. And in both bags, I can still get in an additional packing cube. And then I realized that your day pack didn't have to be something that you just packed into your luggage. It could actually do dual duty and be used as a packing cube. So the day pack now can also serve as a packing cube and not just something you're throwing into your bag. And I think that that's an outstanding use for it. Reason number 6 is you can avoid fees for overweight luggage. This realization came to us on our trip to Alaska. Now, my husband went with just his backpack, and I went with a carry-on and a personal item bag, and we both had our day packs with us because we were taking daily excursions off of the cruise ship. Now, my husband's backpack was getting kind of heavy because he bought himself some short sleeve shirts because the weather was uncommonly warm for June in Alaska. Now, we always take a luggage scale with us because we know that we buy stuff when we're on vacation. We're always worried about making compliance on the airlines. And this time we were not making compliance. So guess what? Day pack to the rescue. So we dispersed out his stuff into both the day pack and my carry-on, and we changed our ticket to include checking my carry-on. And he took onto the plane his regular backpack and the day pack. And I took onto the plane my tote and my day pack. Now, we were allowed to do this because the backpack, now making compliance, counted as a carry-on item, and the day pack counted as his personal item, and my tote counted as a carry-on item, and the day pack counted as my personal item, and so those 2 day packs actually saved the day. So if you ever find yourself in a tough situation where you need to pack up either a crossbody bag, or you bought too much on your vacation, or you have to get rid of some stuff from your carry-on bag because it's coming in too heavy, you can always throw it into a day pack, and you avoid any upcharges for that overweight bag, which sometimes costs more than the cost of your actual ticket. And just that reason alone, it's worth having the day pack. Now, I'm not giving up my sling anytime in the future because I do use it for certain types of excursions. And I sometimes like to bum off of my husband's day pack and throw my bottles and stuff in there. And then all I need is the sling. But it's great to know that if you have a day backpack, then you don't have to worry about anything going awry with either extra weight or extra items. Now, I know some of you already out there have a day backpack as part of your usual pack. And please share with this community how you pack your day pack and what you do with that day pack. And if you have any questions about any information I'm talking about in this video, please don't forget to drop all of that in the comment section down below. And if you found this video informative or you liked it in any way, please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button down below because that really helps this channel out a lot. So this all leads me to, how do you pick a good day backpack? Well, there are 4 things you want to take into consideration. The first thing might be the price. Now, all over Amazon are various day packs that are very inexpensive, and that might be good enough for you because it depends on your usage. I mean, if you're not a frequent flyer and you don't think you need getting a expensive day pack, then most of these on Amazon will do fine for you. I got all of these on Amazon. Now, there are more premium backpacks out there, and they are made out of better materials. But before you purchase one of those, here's consideration number 2. So another thing you're going to want to take into consideration is if you're going to be using this as your everyday carry. In other words, a bag that you're going to be using for work or to take along with you every day. And if you are, you might want to consider what your usage is going to be. Like, do you need a spot for your computer? Does it need to be padded? Do you need YKK zippers? Do you need more structure to your bag? Those things are going to cost you a bit more. But if you're not going to use this as an everyday carry, and you're just an occasional traveler, or you just don't use these kind of bags in your daily life, then you can find one of these bags on Amazon at a very reasonable price, and I highly recommend doing that. Consideration number 3, what features do you need from your day backpack? Even if you're buying a bag from Amazon, there are a few things that you might want to think about before you buy one of these bags. Now, the reason I have 4 bags is I learned this the hard way. So, here are a couple of items that I would point out to you to take into consideration when you're picking a bag on Amazon. The first thing is the exterior of the bag. Does it have anchor points? Because those can be important. So for instance, I tend to use the anchor points for both my hero clip and also a binder clip to keep my hat attached to the bag. You might want to look for a water bottle compartment on the outside of the bag. You might want a bag that has a few more pockets in it so you can keep yourself a little more organized in the bag. And also finally, does the bag offer a place to put a computer or a tablet? Because maybe you do want that in this bag. And even some of the inexpensive bags on Amazon do provide a place to put a tablet or even a computer. Which leads me to consideration number 4, which is the dimension of the bag that you are considering. Now, most of these day backpacks are between 15 and 20 liters, but some of them can be larger. And also the dimensions of the bag can play into what kind of bag you want. Because if you're thinking of using this bag for a European or Asian airline, and the bag's dimension on the bottom is too wide, then the bag's not good for you if you're thinking of packing this bag out to the max. So when looking for the bag, don't only look for the volume of the bag, also look for the dimensions of the bag. Now, I know normally I don't talk too much about what I'm doing on my vacation, and I hope I didn't bore you in any way, but I wanted you to understand how I evolved my packing. And I wanted you to see that you can get an awful lot of usage out of something that you might already be packing. But if you think you can't travel with such a small backpack, check out this video over here where I show you how to do extreme packing. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye!